Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula has launched the October Transport Month campaign in Pretoria. There has been a lot of talk about the country's rail network and the state of transport. The minister is speaking at the moment. Let's take you there live.
Thanks so much for your time, Minister. We do appreciate it. So you've officially launched Transport Month. I think many questions that South Africans want to know is how reliable is PRASA going to be to provide that necessary service for commuters to get to and from their destinations?
We are running a tight operation. We are strengthening PRASA on a daily basis to ensure that not only the commitments, but we rebuild this place because it's a broken place. And the journey to get it right has long begun. The work that we're showcasing here today is what we pronounced when the President spoke in the State of the Nation. When we spoke after that, outlining how we are going to implement. The most important thing is to meet the deadlines. But at the same time, once we recover the line, how do you sustain it? With a strong backup of maintenance in all facets of the recovery, the corridor that has been recovered. May it be OHTE, may it be signaling, may it be on the tracks, and all of that. May it be just the general overhaul of the trains to ensure that they are clean, they are serviced, and whenever anything happens in terms of the overhead traction, electricity, cutting of cables, we're able to intervene. Security, intervention, integrated, backing the security with high-tech in terms of drones and also with boots on the ground. But those boots supported also by the high-tech capacity that we're employing now. So I don't want to use the word turning around. We are on track in terms of the work we have set for ourselves to achieve in a very short space of time.
Minister, I just quickly want to ask you about your timeframes in getting other rail and networks up and running. I know there's a lot of work that's happening behind the scenes, but I think South Africans want to know when they can rely on PRASA, especially because people are really struggling and they're paying a lot more now that they have to travel with taxis or whatever other mode of transport.
All the 10 corridors, like we said, by December, they will all be up and operational. I will not only make an announcement, I will showcase that our Achilles heel is still Cape Town, given the fact that people have occupied, the tracks, have built, on the tracks. We're getting that right. We're fighting hard to get them off the tracks to the land parcels that have been identified. We are on track working with local government and national government to get their commitments right on the parcels of land to move the people. We have already won the people in terms of agreeing with them that they will move. And the 1st of November is the critical time. The first group of people must move on the Cape tracks in the Cape Metro. And then after these 10 corridors, all the corridors, as we fix others now, we're already working on others, building new stations and all of that. So by June next year, all of this reconstruction and recovery will be done. And that's what we're heading to.
Do you think that's an acceptable time frame, June next year?
It is an acceptable time frame. It is realistic. It is achievable. We're working in the war room and at PRASA to ensure things are done properly. As you address governance, issues of capacity within PRASA, it enables us to move with speed. So trains will be back. I mean, like in Mabopane, we were here, we recovered that line. Where there was a breakdown with the President, it's still running. And then we're increasing the capacity there. And then now we've got Pienaarsport, magnificent, unbelievable, with the new trains. So it shows that this is not a dying company. People are prepared to pay. The excitement that was there, R8.50 per trip, and so on, it says a lot to a person who's working. It makes a difference. So we are very much on track, and I'm elated, I'm excited. And that is why I had to congratulate the PRASA staff for a job well done, because when people are doing good, you must also tell them that they are doing good. When they are doing bad, you must also be decisive in dealing with the bad apples.
I just have one last question. I don't know if other media colleagues want to ask with regards to making sure that the rail system works so that we can get less trucks on the road, because that has been a huge concern, that there are just too many trucks on the road. We're not ferrying goods on these trains, and that is a big concern. Does that worry you?
It doesn't worry me only. I passed the rail policy that has been on the pipeline for the past 10, 15 years. I passed it now, proper. We're doing concessioning and working with the private sector in terms of enlisting added capacity of rail and addressing the question of freight and logistics, of rail in the different production lines. Can it be the mines and so on in the country? But also fixing the lines, because most of these Transnet locomotives are running on diesel, and they are not running on OHT traction in terms of electricity. So we need to address that. And also private sector is prepared to come to the party, because as we increase the trains, particularly for freight and logistics, the more we're dealing with the problem of getting rid of lorries, heavy trucks on the highways, and taking them to where they actually belong. So that's what we're doing, and we're working on that in terms of the plan of action we have adopted post the railway policy adoption.
Who obviously make a living by selling on the trains, just spoke to a group there. They are also asking to be considered. They're saying that their livelihoods are being threatened, they're being harassed by security. Is there a way to accommodate them, perhaps to look at ways that they can also continue their businesses on the trains without being harassed?
Well, I can't comment on that, but in terms of policy-wise, those are people we need to give space to do business in terms of the trains and all of that. But it must be something that is well organized. And at some point, we had to address this in relation to Park Station, where it was alleged that the majority of hawkers at Park Station are foreigners, and people of Operation Dudula were going to Park Station, and our security and PRASA intervened and dispelled that. So should there be a complaint in relation to that, it will be addressed. Doing business inside the moving train, it also will be informed by regulations of PRASA in relation to what comes into the train, what you can do, what you cannot do. But in and around the train stations, it shouldn't be a problem to allow hawkers to come in and do business. That's why we must allow them. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. I can say it with my eyes closed. If there is a problem in relation to that, like I said, in Park Station, we intervened, we addressed that, everything is running smooth. So I don't expect our people to have difficulty to set up their own things around here to do business in our sites, like Park Station or even here, and Bosman and everywhere else. They should be allowed.
Minister, I'd just like to ask in relation to the Mbalula.
Right, that's Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula basically launching Transport Month. We celebrate Transport Month in the month of October. He's talking, of course, about the rail industry and whether or not we should actually move the moving of cargo from trucks back to the rail industry because of these accidents that we've seen in recent days and the state of our roads, which is contributed to by the trucking industry.